no, they've seen this. We've talked them through it that I'm not the operations person. I'm the guy that's coming out to walk the roof, look for these problems, do the inspections. But once we get to this point, here's who you're going to talk to. And so in John's case, it's like Kathleen is the one for them that's going to handle everything at the beginning and kind of in the middle. And then John and Cameron are there along the way at step two when they come out for a roof inspection. And so it helps the homeowner understand what's going to happen and who's going to be the one to make it happen for me.
I love that. All right, and then we have our roof packages.
Yeah, so back to the prior comment, we still did put that, we've got the branding on there, but for the roofs, when you go out and speak to homeowners, and this was my experience, most people are going to fall into one of two buckets. When you're going to pitch a good, better, best option to them, they know they can self-select ahead of time, and so when they can see this page, it kind of gives them the idea of, all right, what am I looking at? Metal is best, and it's like it's in its own category. It's standing above the rest. We know most people aren't going to pay for this and aren't going to get this done. So yes, this is our best. But when we talk shingles, there's going to be a couple other levels. And so what we did is we wrote the verbiage and stuff on this page so that if somebody's looking at this, like, what's the difference between the better, the good, and the basic? The basic, it's like, hey, it's a great, efficient protection, but it's got to focus on value and quality. The words that we're going to put there, instead of saying, hey, this is the cheap roof, it's like value, quality, they're both there for you, versus some of the stuff on like the better roofs. They're going to speak to things that somebody with a little bit more money or a specific concern may be willing to pay more for. So, hey, if you are looking for more solar reflectivity, you're probably looking at a Pinnacle Sun or Pinnacle Impact if you're in a hail prone area. And so we're writing things so that customers will look and say, hey, this is not my forever home. This is not something I'm going to be staying at. And so when you go out to talk to them, they're going to probably tell you, hey, I'm looking between this package and this package. And then it gives you that better starting point, because they've been able to understand which bucket they might fall in and which are the features of that package that they care about. Because when we get down to it, there's not much differences about all the shingles. All the manufacturers got the same stuff to solve the same problems. Everybody's got their preferences, but let the customer see, what's the difference in a high level term, not this got, a couple more pounds per square, things like that. It's not a stat sheet.
Yep. No, that makes sense. That information is a little too much for the homeowner.
And then, so the solutions pages, this is something as part of the blueprint for John. What we kind of talked through and what we worked on was we wanted to make this sell sheet something that was not a 20-page long quote. He didn't want a super long quote. He wanted it to be something that's a little bit shorter, but also something that we could double as a tool to either get leads on the website or utilize pages within the quotes, not just as a part of the process, but in other areas of the business. And so this is one where it's like, hey, we're going to design this so it answers a lot of the questions that I'm commonly asked on a site visit, like, why would I do hidden fastener standing seam metal? And it speaks to the homeowners in the they ask, you answer format, of here's the problems we solve and here's the things that we're solving for you, versus telling you again back to specs and things that they're just going to glance over. So present the material in a way they can see some pictures, see what's the thing. If it's something that they didn't even know you guys offered gutters and gutter guards, they might see this on this page and say, oh, cool, less maintenance because I don't have to clean my gutters. I didn't even think about that. But now that I know John offers this, hey, let's talk to John like